This is a quote from Ephesians. The wisdom from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, open to reason, full of mercy and good fruits, impartial and sincere. Now, I think that this describes Christian friendship, which I have to say is different from any other kind of friendship that I've experienced, and I actually kind of have this longing for fellowship with other Christians, deep fellowship, sharing the journey. I guess this is what Christian community is, and kind of starting to experience these fruits, and I find it kind of bewildering because it's like this whole new world, this whole new way of living. And probably growing up in a Christian community doesn't guarantee that you will have true Christian fellowship. Not if you don't feel like you can share who you really are, like you can be open about your faith journey. It really depends on if you have people around you that you can trust. The wisdom from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, open to reason, full of mercy and good fruits, impartial and sincere. I think this is actually a gift that God brings into your heart. Doesn't necessarily come from being around other Christians. I don't know. I think that when you find fellowship, it's actually pretty special, but you really have to seek God and listen to Him. Because true Christian fellowship is listening to God with other Christians. It's not just about following rules and regulations and having common beliefs and common ways of doing things. That's just culture. That's just but the purity of spirit, developing purity of spirit, is really hard because it's sort of at odds with your normal nature. I mean, I am always in conflict. Now, I suppose that there's the Catholic way of looking at it where it's like the desires of your flesh warring with your spirit. Actually, I think that's more just not maybe Catholics are actually less afraid of the flesh. You wouldn't believe it, but I don't see it like that, like this simple battle between good and evil, where some parts of us are evil and some parts of us are good. It's more like we have our desires and we can choose to direct them towards our animal nature, or we can choose to direct them towards God. And it's a lot easier to direct them towards our animal nature because we can see our animal nature, but we can't see God unless we stop and listen. And the desires, they can cause discontent within us, and we just want to go back to feeling peaceful. And it seems like the best way of doing that is simply satisfying the desires, and we're afraid. Well, you can't just hold them back. That doesn't work. You can't hold them back, and you can't just satisfy them in an animal nature. You have to direct them towards God. But how do you actually do that? I'm not sure if the church even teaches you how to do that. I guess that's the purpose of all the rules and things. But I'm not sure that having rules is enough to show you how to do it. I think you need to be directed along the way more than you need to have an end point. If you just focus on the goal, like marriage, for example, if you just have this image of marriage in front of you, but you don't know how to even relate to someone that you're attracted to because you're afraid of the desires, because they might cause you to sin and fall short of the ideal, having this perfect ideal but no way of getting there and no room for failure just makes you not want to try. You don't develop your divine nature that way by not feeling safe to make mistakes. The wisdom from above is first pure. The thing is that when you feel that purity, it feels so strange, and then you want to hold on to it. But that's not all of it. That's just the start. Pure, peaceable, it gives you peace. But then it teaches you to be gentle, open to reason. Well, that's when your former way of thinking kicks in and starts combating with this new experience. I mean, with me, I'm kind of open. Well, I feel it very viscerally when the spirit comes to me, it comes in through my hands, and I feel this physical struggle in my heart is on the one hand I'm trying to let the spirit in, and on the other hand I'm afraid of it, and it makes me feel kind of crazy actually. But when I do let it in, it brings peace, I guess. Gentleness, open to reason, full of mercy. This is the sort of person that I want to be, but my passions seem to prevent this. But I'm starting to realize I can't just hide my passions away. I have to somehow open my passions to wisdom and trust that they're not a curse to cause me pain and discomfort and conflict, and though I can't see the goodness that my passion could bring, there's kind of no framework for me. I just have to trust that God didn't make me like this, to be completely unable to express who I am without hurting people. So I'm just going to have to trust that God can make my passion pure and peaceful and gentle and open to reason, so that my heart does not completely take over, so that what I feel actually jives with what I think, so that wisdom is in my mind as well as my heart, full of mercy and good fruits. I get so angry and frustrated when I don't get what I want, and I guess it will take a while for God to work in me and teach me to be selfless. And I just have to swallow my pride and accept that my passions are going to hurt people, and it will take my whole life for God to transform me and make me wise, because right now I'm kind of an idiot when it comes to emotions. I can't even begin to understand them. Impartial and sincere, well, that's where you can just be friends with people without getting caught up in politics, where you can truly be their friend. And I really am not there I'm not impartial in my friendship, and I don't sincerely love people. I wonder how many Christians actually get to this point of being able to truly love people of all kinds. I don't think that many do. I think it's just people who really give themselves to Christ and don't just let other people do the work for them, because that doesn't work. So I have this longing, I guess, for this kind of relationship, to be this kind of person. And I know I'm not this kind of person. I'm so aware of my selfishness. And it's so embarrassing how immature I am, that I guess that the blessing of it is that I will grow in the Holy Spirit. I will receive the gifts from the Holy Spirit, and I will know that who I am is not achieved by my own efforts, but is a gift from the Spirit. And go, when you're not used to examining your imperfections, well, I kind of am. I used to beat myself up about it, which I think is kind of pride. I just want to be able to really relate to people and share myself with people without going, without causing chaos. And I just have to be really, really patient. And I know that Christ will transform me and give me the fellowship and the true love that I long for, that this way that I long to relate to people. This true friendship that's not just about doing the right things, but it's sincere. And I'm really sorry for to all of my friends, because I know that I'm holding myself back and not being a true friend. I'm kind of starting from scratch.